Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will do the belly and the assembly of the frog. We will crochet the belly using the white yarn. In round 1, it's 6 single crochet and a magic ring. In round 2, we do 6 increases, which brings you up to 12 stitches. In round 3, it's a single crochet and then an increase. We do that 6 times to get 18. In round 4, we do 2 single crochet and then an increase. We repeat that 6 times to get 24. In round 5, it's 3 single crochet followed by an increase. We do that 6 times to get 30. In round 6, it's 4 single crochet and then an increase. We do that 6 times to get 36. Round 7 is the last round of the belly, and we do 5 single crochet, then an increase. We do that 6 times to get 42. Now we can close with a slip stitch and cut the yarn, making sure to leave quite a long tail for sewing onto the body. Now we can sew on the eyes, about 2 or 3 rounds from the top of the head. First, we take the short yarn tail from the magic ring and insert that where you want the eye to go, and just pull that through to the back of the piece. Then we can sew the eye on using the long tail. Once the eye is in place, first grab a stitch of the head and then go up into a stitch of the eye, and then down into the next stitch of the eye, and then grab another stitch from the head, and repeat this all the way around. Now we can insert that yarn tail under the eye, back to the same place as the first tail. And now we can just knot them together. Cut the knot short and just insert that knot into the piece. Now we sew on the second eye exactly the same way, first using the short yarn tail, and then we will use the long tail to sew it in place. As you're working, keep checking to make sure that it's symmetrical with the first eye. Now we can sew on the belly on the front lower section of the frog. First use the short yarn tail and insert that where you want the belly to go. Now you can grab the long yarn tail. First, I just like to take that yarn tail through that next stitch over there, just to make that step a little less obvious. Make sure you have the belly positioned where you want. If you prefer, you can also use pins to keep it in place. Now we sew on the same way as before, by first grabbing a stitch of the body, then going up into a stitch of the belly, and then down into the next stitch of the belly, and repeating this all the way around. When sewing on large pieces with this type of yarn, you can sometimes get these bald patches, which makes it difficult to work with. If this happens, you can just secure that first piece of yarn and then finish sewing on the rest with a second piece of yarn. Now we are going to embroider on the face. First, you will need a length of black yarn. About 2 feet or 60 centimeters should be enough. First, decide where you want the mouth to go. I usually make it between rounds 6 and 7. I like to start embroidering the mouth like so. And then continue with the nostrils like this. Lastly, we will embroider on the cheeks, and you will need about 1 foot or 30 centimeters of pink yarn. Decide where you want the cheeks to go. I usually like them going diagonally along the face, about 2 or 3 stitches long. And now your squishy frog should be completed. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.